Does anyone require my counsel?
Scary business, burying yourself alive. But it still beats staying in the hands of those butchers. What's there to tell? I'm a miller, and Bimir's my name. Brought my flour into the city as always, and then it was all fire, smoke, screaming. Some folks got stabbed, others got eaten on the spot, and I just went and got my fingers all bitten off. Lucky, I suppose. Well, my hand hurts, but other than that, fine, I guess. I'm good. Are you still here? It looks like you're not in much of a hurry to deliver your urgent report after all. Alas, we have nothing to share. We barely managed to escape the garrison with the clothes on our backs. When the building started crashing down around our ears and demons began pouring in through the gates, there was no time to run to the armory. It's a miracle we even got out at all.
No time for standing around.
What a horrible place. I knew there were caves of some sort under the city, but I had no idea they were this huge. It's bearable. Apart from the fact that my city is in ruins, I'm almost well. He smiles timidly. Langrat Messenai, at your service. He offers you a refined stage bow. Back when Kenavers had a theater, I was the first violin there. And now, well, now I suppose I'm a street busker, insofar as the city still has streets. Freda sniffs the damp underground air and smiles, satisfied.
Good work, everyone, excellent. It will be easy to lose the cultists in these catacombs. But we can't relax yet, I imagine there are plenty of other dangers. Who knows what monsters are roaming around down here? No complaints.
She looks chipper and full of energy.
Freda Linstoden, Special Inspector of the City Council.
Says Freda adamantly.
On behalf and by the order of Her Majesty Geoffrey of Mendev, and with Abaydar's blessing, I review the work performed by offices in the city, exposing slouches and embezzlers. I've held this position for 50 years now. I can't tell you much. The better part of this network remains unexplored, unrecorded, uncatalogued. Various hostile creatures live here, from giant spiders and lizards to gods know what else. This is also where numerous criminal elements conduct their furtive activities. Pay attention to your surroundings. If you're lucky, you might find a cache left by some thieves or smugglers. More than anything in the world. It is precisely at this moment, when all this outrage is happening in the city, that we, its defenders, must keep a clear head. The city lives as long as we continue to do our respective duties, each in our own field. To abandon them is to capitulate, to betray the Crusades, to renounce the gods and the Queen, to perish.
Time to practice my combat abilities!
Do not hold back.
Let's try this way.
You're going down!
Time to rob them of their treasures.
Keep your calm. I need to concentrate. There are many roads to success.
Please, focus.
Mimosi travi.
Cover me!
I'll just have to resort to brute force!
I serve the Crusades, strange as it sounds.
Amorai sends.
I've got you!
Stay on your toes.
I'll just have to resort to brute force!
Do not hold back.
So it comes to this! You've made your choice!
Forgive me for this failure.
A trivial matter. It is finished. They'll never see me.
Let us not hesitate.
You're going down!
Cover me!
These magics should be used in other ways.
Watch out for trouble. Keep your calm. There are many roads to success.
Hesitation is a waste of time.
Adayana.
Knowledge is the key to victory.
Defeat is not an option.
Watch out for trouble.
You're not half bad.
I'll gut you!
These magics should be used in other ways.
Cover me!
Keep your calm. There are many roads to success.
Defeat is not an option.
Let's run this way.
not a threat. You're an obstacle.
This is not part of the plan.
Focus on the goal.
I know what to do.
Watch out for trouble.
Cover me!
These magics should be used in other ways. These magics should be used in other ways.
Let's try this way.
Keep your calm. burning. There are many roads to success.
This is not possible.
I will guide.
Who's there? The dwarf's tangled red hair is matted with slime of dubious origin, and there are strands of web and an odd spider leg caught in his beard. Countless bags, test tubes, and alchemical tools hang off the belts that crisscross his body, and a large, ugly purple growth mars his neck. Who's making noise up there? Are you the ones making this racket? Mongrels used to live here, you know, the horned bogeymen from old wives' tales about monsters that lurk underground. It turns out the tales were true after all. They are fine people, by the way, they keep themselves to themselves. I trade with them once in a while. I didn't drive them away from here, if that's what you're asking. The cave was already abandoned when I came here, so I made myself at home. Waste not, want not. It is. Ah ha ha ha. The dwarf guffaws, slapping his thighs. Good riddance. They drove me out, and now the demons are here, they have nothing to defend themselves with. I bet they regret missing out on my bombs. Well, it's too late now. I'm not going back, so don't bother asking. Actually, I like it better here than in town. The place is roomy, the food is plentiful, and the ingredients for my experiments grow underfoot. Best of all, there are no busybodies to get on my nerves, ask what I'm brewing, or demand I give them money. You are asking me who I am. Perhaps it is I who should ask you who you are. The dwarf scoffs indignantly and stares you down with his piercing green eyes. The growth on his neck opens a third eye and looks at you with even more suspicion than the first two. Are you inquisitors? Investigators? Tax collectors? I fled underground to get away from you bloodsuckers, but you followed me here? Get lost. Milornbrower owes you nothing. During the First Crusade, holy warriors streamed into Mendef, where they encountered Sarkorians practicing their unique druidic faith. The Crusaders mistook the wooden idols and rustic rituals for evidence of demonic influence. Groups of witch hunters emerged from the disorganized chaos of the First Crusade. These witch hunters were often self-styled, their tactics little more than brutal trial and error. The least bit of evidence could mark a target for investigation, a clubfoot, a thick accent, or even a suspicious absence of abnormalities. The witch hunter groups gained reputations for being cruel and arbitrary, although these weren't always deserved. Demons ranged freely across the world wound and often spilled into Mendef. Demonic possession did happen, though not nearly as often as the witch hunters claimed. Genuine witch hunters used divination magic and cautious investigation to draw out and destroy fiends, but they were rare compared to the zealous inquisitors who burned innocents at the stake. With the advent of the Fourth Crusade, the authorities took strong measures to end the bloody witch hunts of Mendef. Since then, the frequency of hunts has dropped considerably. Wait, you're Milorn Brower? Oh, wow. Everybody thought you died when your laboratory got blown sky hot. As if. Did you really think Milorn would be hoist with his own petard like a ham-fisted apprentice? Not going to happen. The alchemist scoffs. I blew up my laboratory when those parasites decided to seal it up. The investigators can bugger off, and so can the taxman. Oh, this. The dwarf smiles tenderly, plucking the meaty growth from his neck and scratching it like a little critter. It opens its eye and purrs happily. Meet Quinny, my dear companion. That's short for quintessence, and she is very smart. Who's a smart girl, Quinny? You're a smart girl. Yes, you are. Have a treat. The alchemist untangles a dead spider from his beard, feeds it to his pet, and sticks the growth back on his neck. Can I? Of course I can. I have plenty of stuff, some of it I dug up, some was carried here by the river, some of it I got through trade, except that does not mean I will share it. Giving out supplies for free would be too much. I crawled underground to get away from the beggars like you, and now you're pestering me even here? Pa. But I guess we could trade. I will take your gold, and don't even try to bargain. If you haven't got any money, we can barter. Do you know mushrooms? The yellowish ones that glow, very tiny, on thin little stalks? You can use them to brew so many wonderful concoctions. Bring them to me, and I will pay you in solid gold. What have you got there? A rope. Good and strong, I could use one. I will give you a good price if you decide to sell it. I'd rather you not sell it. Riekert speaks quietly so the alchemist does not hear him. We may need this rope ourselves. And what, pray tell, are we supposed to talk about? All right, bring her here, let's see who she is and what she has to say. You again? What else do you want? You loiterers are breathing my air. You don't like my prices? The dwarf gestures at the empty cave around you. Feel free to browse, talk to the other merchants. I'm sure they will give you a discount, ha ha ha.
Focus on the goal. Watch out for trouble. your calm.
Do not hold back.
Focus on the goal.
Time to practice my combat abilities.
Time's not waiting. Let's try this way.
Does anyone require my counsel?
Together we stand.
This was not part of the plan.
Forgive me for this failure.
You're going down! My mission has ended in failure.
A terrible mistake.
This is unexpected.
I will not be trifled with.
Ona Adayanan. Let's try this way.
It's you or me!
Do not hold back.
This will hurt.
The mission must be carried out. It's done.
You're not a threat. My mission has ended in failure.
This was not part of the plan.
A terrible mistake.
Using clever tactics now? Damn it.
This is my chance to run!
Watch out for trouble.
No time for standing around.
Defeat is not an option.
Using clever tactics now.
A calculated risk.
I do things my way.
I serve the Crusades, strange as it sounds.
No mistakes. This should do it.
You're not half bad.
Our time has come. These magics should be used in other ways.
This was not part of the plan.
My mission has ended in failure.
Unexpected outcome.
Keep your calm. Time for a clever approach. There are many roads to success.
This is not part of the plan.
Strike as one!
Watch out for trouble. Your call.
I am prepared.
There are many. I will guide.
I stand ready.
I know what to do.
Our time has come.
Let's try this way.
You're going down!
Us. Yes. I serve the Crusades, strange as it sounds.
I'll just have to resort to brute force. I'll gut you! Watch out for trouble. Never stop learning.
We must act.
I will not falter.
Having left the enraged cultists behind, the daring group of escapees plunged deeper and deeper into the sewage canals under cannibers, passages as vile and as twisted as the plans of any demons. The cultists' yelling faded, giving way to deep growling coming from somewhere in the fetid darkness. Some unknown predator was prowling around, never approaching, but constantly dogging the group's steps. The winding tunnel then came to a fork. The main route was blocked by a vast cesspool, a whole underground lake of filth. Untold dangers could be lurking in the darkness of the older and narrower passages that branched off in all directions from the lake. The path onward was unclear. What was the greater danger, haste or delay? Which way should they go? What should they do? After a brief discussion, the escapees decided to. Someone needed to venture forth to explore the tunnels. So they decided to send. Scoffing grimly, Freda categorically refused to go into the tunnels without a partner. A sighted partner. They came back 15 minutes later. Serving as a guide for her sighted partner, Freda managed to figure out where the escapees had ended up. As part of her work for the city, she had previously conducted inspections in the sewers, so she could confidently identify which of the tunnels would lead her party away from the theater. After a brief discussion, the escapees decided to. The role of lookout was assigned to. The group's decision proved to be a wise one. When something slimy and amorphous leaped out of the darkness, Bimir's deafening, bear-like roar struck confusion and fear into both his fellow escapees and the terrifying predator. With a disgusting sloshing sound, the creature retreated into the darkness and never troubled the group again. Thanks to the fruitful scouting mission in the tunnels, the escapees went straight toward their destination instead of wandering in the dark for hours, exhausting themselves. The damp sewers gave way to dry and narrow caves. The escapees had no idea the maze under cannibers was so vast, deep, and horrible. Exhausted, they sat down on the rocks, fighting off hunger and fear. The escapees discussed their situation and decided to the task of scouting out the cramped caves. The caverns were narrow enough that Freda didn't have to rely on sight, she could just feel her way forward. Thanks to her small stature, it was easy for her to get into the smallest cracks. And her dwarvish knack for underground activities ultimately ensured her success. Upon her return, Freda proudly presented her find, a bundle wrapped in scaled leather. Inside the bundle, the escapees found a strong sinew rope, a band of tribal amulets, a sharp flint knife, a whetstone, and a number of other useful items. The skin in which these treasures were wrapped had a simple map of the nearby caves and was marked with a strange pictograph of a cat's eye framed by 8 spider legs. The escapees discussed their situation and decided to Ratgeisticus and Reekerth wasted no time and scouted out a safe tunnel that led to the surface. The escapees continued on their way. Reekerth led the group through a narrow crawlway that looked like it must have appeared quite recently. It may have been caused by the earthquake unleashed by the wicked scythe of the Locust Lord Descari. Larger than an elephant, this towering insectal nightmare wields a scythe made of bone. His wings are swarms of biting flies, and his inhuman eyes glitter with cruel intelligence. Descari, demon lord of chasms, infestations, and locusts, is believed by many scholars to be the usher of the apocalypse. He carved his realm from the raw matter of the abyss using the great scythe ripped carver, a weapon he crafted from the remains of the strange creature his father, Pazuzu, mated with tens of thousands of years ago. Descari and his cult long plagued the northern nation of Sarkoris, where his cultists were eventually driven into the Lake of Mists and Veils by Aroden. Yet upon Aroden's death, Descari's influence on Galarian ripened and burst, transforming Sarkoris into the demon-haunted world wound. Having crawled out of the caves, the escapees found themselves in a narrow tunnel paved with stone slabs. There were alcoves all over the walls with names etched above each one. These catacombs were part of one of the burial sites where crusaders had been interred for many years. Deathly cold pierced the escapee's skin as a rippling ghostly figure emerged from around the corner and, wailing, immediately went out of sight again. Each member of the group could sense the danger hanging in the air. The escapees drew their weapons, ready to defend themselves. The escapees decided to. In one of the corridors of the burial site, the group came upon a corpse, a fresh body, half burned by demon fire. Some poor soul must have tried to escape the slaughter and ended up in the catacombs. This was where death had caught up to him, and now his anguished spirit was agitated. Laying the ghost to rest. The escapees decided to. This sacrilegious but wholly necessary task. Langrad wandered among the tombs in low spirits for a whole hour, touching the gravestones at random and whispering sorrowful poems about the inevitability of death. At last he returned to his comrades and said sadly, "I can't. I just can't." The escapees decided to. Investigating a dangerous area. Freda, blind as she was, sighed tragically and went forward without saying a word. Her heart sank, as if warning her of the danger. She walked 100 paces before something cracked under her feet, the slab she had stepped on sank, and dozens of darts flew out of the holes in the walls. She had stumbled into a trap laid for grave robbers, and she bled out almost instantly. The escapees decided to. The escapees continued onward and were excited to see that the gloomy corridors were slowly getting brighter. The surface was near. A sudden howl from behind them knocked them off their feet. The enraged ghost, whose remains had been denied a proper burial, was chasing after the group. Suddenly the tribal amulets that the group had found in the caves along with the map lit up with a pale, bluish luminescence. The amulets grew warmer, their glow intensified, and the ghost fled with a wrathful shriek before it could deliver its vengeance. These trinkets, which had proven to be a lucky find on the escapee's part, turned to dust afterward, but they had served their purpose. But nothing could stop the escapees at this point. They could already see a spot of light beyond the metal bars of a door at the end of the tunnel. They rushed forward without a second thought.
Never stop learning.
Let's try this one.
I'll just have to resort to brute force.
What a to-do! We were scrambling this way with undead herring after us going, oh, and snap, snap, snap with their teeth. And then you all appear out of nowhere going, oh no, monsters, eek! But me, I never abandon a person in need. No way, no how. Saving people in need is what I'm good at. Stick with me, and we'll all make it out of this alive.
We're the ones who saved you, dolt. Take care with this one. A friendly idiot can be more dangerous than an enemy.
Hold on, I'm not... Yes, everything's in such turmoil right now you can't even trust me. I get it. I get it. In that case... I swear on my life, on the sublime Desna who bears the name of the Song of the Spheres, and on my magnificent boots, that I will protect you from the monsters and lead you to a safe place, wherever that may be.
Desna, also known as the Great Dreamer, Lady Luck, and Mother Moon, goddess of dreams, luck, stars, and travelers, is among the most ancient of deities. While her peers burdened themselves with the task of creating Golarion, she spent her time building the heavens. She knew that there would be plenty of time for her and her followers to explore the many wonders of the world later. She has changed little since those earlier days, and she and her followers delight in exploring the world.
Indeed, how silly of me. My manners are all over the place after fleeing from those things. Allow me to introduce myself. Sendramel Knuckles Kimberton Tourmaline. just sundry to my friends. And this is my pal Brody. Yep, he is a gravedigger here. Or something like that.
Pale, sweating, emaciated, wandering gaze, and... what's that? A bite mark on his neck? There's no doubt about it. This man's got ghoul fever. He's either an idiot who didn't realize he was sick, or he's a liar and he deliberately kept quiet about it. Either way, he needs to die. Now.
Have mercy, I beg you. I have a family, children. What fever? I don't feel sick at all, I swear.
One more word, and I'll slit your throat.
The gravedigger grows even paler and backs further away, clearly not wanting to tempt fate.
Whoa! There's no need for weapons and threats. Taking somebody's life like it's worth nothing, it's not right. I swear I didn't know that Brody was sick. I was kind of distracted by other things, you know? First we were chasing the snappers around the cemetery, and then they were chasing us, but on the bright side, I know how to help him. There's a crypt in the cemetery full of interesting knickknacks, including a scroll that's sure to cure Brody's fever. That's right! If we go and get it, we'll be saving an innocent man's life. How should I describe it? It's all stony and fancy. It's on the far side of the cemetery. There's a wizard interred in it, a scholar I greatly admire. He was a master of many things, and he was a collector of magical objects, too. And the library he had, ooh, it was an ogre, miss. Get it? As big as an ogre? Oh, except ogres are stupid and libraries are smart.
Oh, fantastic. Our heroic sorcerer is nothing but a common thief, and one with a lousy sense of humor to boot.
Hold your horns there, my morose young man. You're looking at everything in the worst possible light. If you like, I can give you a pink crystal to look at the world through. That'll put a smile on your face. I was only looking for one book. The esteemed wizard took it to his grave. Literally. The thought of stealing never even crossed my mind. I left everything exactly where it was. The potions, the scrolls, the jewels, everything. I read, I learned some useful information, and I left. That's it.
You were in a tomb full of magical objects and scrolls, and you didn't take a thing? How have you survived this long?
A scroll that can cure almost any affliction. They're very rare, and therefore extremely valuable. I'm no thief, but since it's for a good cause, I think we can borrow it from our dear departed wizard. I have no idea, to be honest. We only became friends after I saved him from the snappers not long ago. You're better off asking him.
Sir, I'll tell you everything, but please, have mercy. I was just an ordinary gravedigger doing my job, when suddenly somebody attacked me from behind and beat me, right here. I thought I was as good as dead. I panicked and spun around and whacked this thing with my shovel. And I saw it was a ghoul. It was laid out on the ground, twitching. I gave it a couple of wallops for good measure. And I felt fine, that's the honest truth. Except I haven't been able to eat a crumb of food since. I thought it was all those corpses of the damned rising from their graves. They stink to high heaven, I'm sure you've noticed it yourself. So I didn't know I was sick until your friend said it. I swear I didn't know.
When I went down into the crypt, there was no sign of any snappers. I found the book I was after, I read it, and it was so fascinating that I picked up another to read, and another. And then something made an almighty bang! The wizard himself had risen from his tomb! Well, wasn't I just shaking in my boots with my heart in my throat? But I very politely cast a spell on him and he went down like a lamb. That's when I realized there was something weird going on outside. I decided to sit tight. There were plenty of books, so I wouldn't lack for something to do. Then later on, I heard shouting and I ran to the rescue. there you have it.
Canabras is under attack. Demons, dark creatures, cultists, marauders. The city is overrun. You're lucky you were away from the thick of things. An annoying little twerp like you would have been snuffed out in no time.
Oh, that does explain a lot. All the more reason to save as many people as we can. My eye? What eye? Oh, this eye. Oh, my friend, that is a long story. The telling really demands a whole barrel of ale, but fair enough, I'll tell you anyway. My adventuring once led me to the frozen lands of Irisen. Back then, I was on a quest for the Ice Flower, a rare crystal that I hoped to add to my collection. And out of the blue, I was set upon by 3 frostworms, if you'll believe it. I dispatched 2 of them, but the third knocked me over a cliff edge. Down and down I went, and then a branch on the cliff face pierced my eye, and that's how I survived. A small price to pay, eh? So don't worry about me. As they say, what the eye cannot see, the heart cannot miss.
Irison, frostworms, a conveniently placed branch. Listening to his jabbering is hurting my ears. Make him stop, will ya? A good kick should do it.
Really? You'll do it? Oh, praise the gods! Believe me, sir, I'll find a way to repay you, and I'll help however I can.
I knew you'd come to the right decision. Let's go. Time to get out of this graveyard. And remember, the crypt containing the scroll is all the way over yonder by the gate.
Pardon me for butting in, but you may recall that I also need to get into a crypt here. The one with a rose on it? You know what? Forget it. I'm not setting a foot in there. I'm not ending up in the belly of an undead. Vow or no. I should just stay here where it's safe. Alive and...
Enough chatting. Let's go already.
Focus on the goal.
Oxy, Yas.